This whole thing with Diddy has just gotten so far out of whack where people are, I think they're losing sight of a lot of different things as far as what's going on here. There's a lot to really unpack with all of this. As we already know, we've heard and seen the videos of his homes being raided. The message out there now is that he escaped from the feds when he was in Miami. He hopped on a plane and went out the country. Well, guys, I think if you pay close attention to that, I'm sure the feds already saw the manifest of where exactly he was going, how many people were scheduled to get on that plane, and as I stated previously, their destination, and what time the flight was going to leave. So if they wanted to get him at the airport, if it's really something like that, they would have got him already. But I think this instance of what's going on right now is, and we've seen it happen a lot of times before in the past, where, many of us out there, we became a little too big for our britches. And when I say too big for our britches, because what normally happens is people that surround us, they will allow us to get out here and showcase our talents. And sometimes when you showcase your talents, that old adage phrase, that old adage quote that you hear, you've heard this quote plenty of times before. And I'll be honest with you, that quote is actually misspoken. It was stated a different way, but I'm gonna give you the quote right off the rip so that everyone can understand exactly what I'm saying. And the quote that I'm talking about is, when ignorance is on fire, people come to watch it burn. You don't put the ignorance out. You let the ignorance go, because the ignorance, that fire is going to burn so hot, so high, it's going to become an inferno. And when that inferno catches on, but guess what? It's going to bring everybody around it. It's going to bring them closer in to see what's going on. And they're going to be so intrigued as far as what's happening. They want to go ahead. They want to get more and more and more. And you know what? This is where we are right now. Oh, this is where we are right now. Guys, we're going to talk about this. Y'all already know, this is another episode of Blow the Whistle with your host, Coach Walker. Guys, if you have not tapped in, tuned in, told a friend of a friend, to like, share, subscribe to this channel, Tomorrow Leader Sports Network, you better do it right now. Yes, this is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network channel, but I do segments of Blow the Whistle with your host, Coach Walker, just to, change up the speed of things as far as different things that's going on out here within the walls of just sports itself, because music is part of the culture. Music is a part of HBCU culture, just like the bands, just like, you have your sororities and fraternities, all that good stuff. Diddy went to HU. He donated money. He donated $1 million to Howard University as well as Jackson State. And when I saw this story, I said, man, you know what? How exactly is this playing out? Because there's so much going on at one time right now. And for the life of me, I've been wondering, like, for years, listening to all of the jokes and the snaps, people snapping on him, talking about how, he talk about, man, he like, man, you ain't never go, hey, you ain't never go shopping with me, or however the phrase go, hey, you ain't never party with me, daddy, or something crazy, just some off the cuff remark where everybody's just getting them a good chuckle out of this garbage. Nobody ever pulled this man aside and said, hey, bro, let me holler at you for a minute. Hey, Diddy, that ain't the move, bro. You might need to change that up a little bit. But as you see somebody go up the ladder and continue to keep, making those dollars make sense, a lot of things that go on, people have a tendency of just allowing them to happen because they want to stay within the moment and continue to keep, thriving and getting whatever they can off that person for as long as they can. How they say, enjoy the ride as long as you can. And everything that you're seeing going on right now, all of this started because questions got asked. See, Diddy ain't the first person that started asking questions, and then the powers that be decided, we got to spank him. We got to spank him to let him know who's really the boss here, because you're not really the boss. You might be making this money, but just as quick as we gave it to you, we can snatch this money back from you. Just as quick as we sent you up, we can chop your behind down at the ankles, boy, and we can drop you down in your face. So what are you going to do? So, yeah, here we are. He's been embarrassed to the world. Both his homes been raided in LA and Miami. He jumps on a plane, he's up out of here. First day, oh, Diddy done got on a flight, he up out there, he leaving the country, he running away. Nobody really knows what's going on. They understand that there's alleged information out there of why the feds raided his homes, but there's still nothing concrete as far as why or what's really going on. We got a lot of, I'm gonna call them urban legends, because everything's alleged right now as far as what's really going on with this man, as far as the sex trafficking and all this other kind of crazy stuff that's happening. So it makes you wonder, okay, what's really happening here? But I'm gonna jump in and say this, and see, this is the part of the conversation right here where it got a little too hot and had to back off. Because see, while the jokes are out there, no one pulled him aside. I'm like, where was his partners at? Everybody that was making money, you was doing business with him, you was doing music and whatever have you with him. Where were y'all at to pull him aside and say, hey, listen, man, let's talk. Hey, what's that word? Diddy, like, you playboy? Hey, playboy. Let me holler at you right quick, playboy. You need to change that up, dog. You can't be out here like this. This gonna get you lined up, which is what's happening right now. And not only that, but it's a lot of other athletes, entertainers that's been out here that's gotten their behinds lined up based on they got a little too big for their britches. You know, where there's questions about finances. Or better yet, you wanted to accuse someone in which you had a right to accuse. I'm not saying that you don't. You had a right to accuse people as far as what's happening. I mean, you had the Mike Tyson situation. He was accusing Don King of stealing from him, allegedly. And what happened to him? We saw what happened to him. Tupac had the issues going on with the record label, allegedly at that time, when all of those things happened to him, where he ended up going to jail. R. Kelly finally figured out, hey, I need to check in and see what's going on with my money, finding out that people was, pinching money off him forever and a day. And not only that, but he wasn't properly being paid, allegedly, for his royalties. So now when you start asking questions about your masters and everything like that, what happened to you? Locked up. So now we got other folks out here that want to talk about different artists and how they are next to get lined up. Some of these folks have done business with them. Heck, you got folks that have done business with Diddy that's helping try to line him up because they felt that they didn't get their just means as far as the compensation. But my problem is, who signed the contract? Did the man put a gun in your head that you can show everybody a visual that he forced your hand to sign a deal? No. But we're going to continue to keep coming up with urban legends, allegedly, saying that these things are happening. So it blows my mind, like, okay, what's going on? Like, once again, we got ignorance on fire. We still letting it burn now. We like Usher said, let it burn. Because as I stated before, look at all of the people that I've named thus far, they've already been thrown in the fire. Bill Cosby, he wanted to buy NBC, challenged them on why they wouldn't sell it to him. You get thrown in the fire too, allegedly. See, there's so much that's going on right now where it's at a tipping point. Everybody want to find a means or a way to knock off the next man, thinking that's going to get you a little closer in the front of the line for you to get what you want. It don't work that way. Because if you got the proper representation to fight the matters at hand, you're still going to come up short. And you're still going to find a way to get out there and go make a buck. But this is where I'm at with this. The whole situation with Cassie. He's talking about black excellence. He wanted to buy BET. Now, you talking about trying to change up the stuff that people are putting on TV, things of that nature. You want to sue the company that you've been selling all this alcohol with? You want to say that they're out of pocket with how how they do business, how they treat people that look like myself and him, and many of you? Oh, they wasn't going to take that sitting down. No. We're going to run, hey, if you can get out here and run a smear campaign on us, because I'm willing to bet you none of you have looked at the profits and the gains and losses for that company since all those alleged allegations came out and the litigation took place. No one looked at none of that. Nobody. Now here you got this man, Diddy, where he has had to detach himself from everything that he helped build. The liquor company, Sean John, now Revolt TV. And I'm sure Bad Boy is not being ran by him anymore. I think one of the sons is running it. So you got all of this chaos going on. And sorry, the young lady that had the show on Revolt, the podcast on Revolt, that she loses out on this too, because now it's like, okay, how in the world does she get her platform moving in the manner what she needs to? So it's so many things that's intertwined as far as what's going on, and you have to really evaluate the moves that we make. Are we really paying attention to the chessboard, or are we feeling like, okay, hey, I done got up the ladder, I'm one of them ones, I'm in the top 1%, I can do what I want to do. This is chess, not checkers. This is big bank, take little bank. And even when you make that B, you got the B. You holding the B now. You don't think somebody else got a bigger B than yours? And what I mean by B, a bigger billion. See, this is why I'm saying we forget a lot of things as we continue to keep going up that ladder. Like I said before, ignorance on fire, people come watch it burn. See, the friends, everybody that was around, where were they at to go ahead and try to, not fan the flame to increase the fire, but put something over to simmer it down just a little bit to say, hey, look, bro, we need to talk. Let's sit down and discuss this thing here, what's going on. We got so many people out here that have so many negative stories about this man and what has taken place and quote unquote what they've seen and what they've heard, and certain people have come and told them specifically, certain specifics as far as things that's going on. But my question to you is, why didn't you stop any of this? Where were you at to put a stop to any of this? Why are we online trying to make $1 off clicks and views talking about what he did when nobody put a stop to it? That's all I'm asking. I mean, my take on this, as you can see, I'm sitting in the middle of this thing in which I'm trying to grasp what's going on here, because there's a lot to really unpack with this without all of the information at the table. It's like you're sitting here, you're looking for the files to just show up out of nowhere to just give you a clue. Right now, there's a lot of innuendo. There's a lot of chaos as far as with, hey, I don't like this sucker. I'm going to go ahead and put whatever I want to put out on him. And guess what? Y'all going to have to eat that and run with it. Okay, cool. But my question to you is, where was someone to pull this man aside, say, hey, look, you need to reevaluate this? We got folks that want to kick him down the flight of stairs. Excuse me, not kick him down the flight of stairs, but kick his back in with the jokes and everything like this. And they were some individuals that worked with him. They allegedly got caught up in stuff. Out here in these streets messing with trans people. And all of a sudden we want to act like, oh, we don't know what's going on. But because we want what we want, we'll find a way to smudge. We'll find a way to smudge and put up a campaign to go ahead and further, kick the man back in. That seems like that's our way of thinking that we're going to get what we want, how we want to get it. Like I stated before, who's making the decisions to sign the deals? I've given you multiple examples as far as individuals that have gone through what he's, on the cusp of possibly dealing with right now. And I ask you the question, if all of these people that's supposed to be your friends, supposed to be people that you sat down, you've made money with, they've made money off you, you've made money off them, where are these individuals at now? it seems like everybody is held to a different cloth when it comes time for somebody to get in trouble. It's almost like high school where, if one person don't like them, everybody don't like them. Everybody step away from, hey, I can't talk to you out here in the public, but I can talk to you over here on the side, hey man, whoop de whoop, blah, blah. No. If you my friend, be my friend front and center. And the $1 million question I have is, why hasn't anyone stepped up to give this man some solid advice? I mean, heck, you try to talk to the bishop, y'all go run stories with the flagpole on what's going on with him. So like, what more can you say? It's like you dag if you do, you dag if you don't. But I will say this, out of all the gentlemen that I spoke on, as far as them being ones that's been, pushed into the fire, when I said before, when ignorance is on fire, people come to watch it burn. John Wesley, and this is the reason I'm going to give you the quote, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of background about John Wesley so that you can understand why I use this quote for this particular situation. John Wesley's quote is, "Light yourself on fire with passion, and people will come to watch you burn." I gave you that quote because this is what's going on right now. The way that we lived our lives in, many of us, that is, lived our lives back in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s. You can't live like that now. The game didn't change. The game has changed, and many people don't quite understand that part. But when the man got sued by his ex-girlfriend, and he said if anybody else has any issues with him, he can go ahead and get you squared away within 24 hours. Oh, everybody lost their mind. It was out the window after that. As soon as they heard that Cassie was, and I'm sorry, Miss Cassie, that I brought you up, but you did have the lawsuit against the man. When he brought that up, everybody's like, oh, okay, hey, sure. Everybody coming out the woodwork now with things, alleged situations. So now we're going to sit here. Now we're going to sit back and wait and see how everything's going to play out for Diddy and see which direction it's going to go. But again, that statement is based off of, y'all ready for this? The original statement came from, as I stated before, John Wesley, who was an English cleric, theologian, and evangelist, who was a leader of a revival movement with the Church of England known as Methodism. Now, I know y'all like, Coach, you talking about church, bro. We don't want to hear that. But listen to me. The socialites he founded became the dominant form of the independent Methodist movement that continues to this day. What caught me was when he said the socialites. We got all of these people that we put on pedestals, and we look at them as the end-all be-all when it comes to things that's going on. And as soon as they get their pedestal rocked or get knocked off that pedestal, all of a sudden no one pays them any attention, no one pays them any mind, which is what's happening right now, where everybody's paying Diddy attention because this right here is just news to run up the flagpole. But you have to ask yourself this question. If they can do it to him and they can do it to so many others, what makes you think it won't happen to you? As I stated before, as you go up that pole, there's certain, and I hate to use pole because I know some folks got different, they got different sayings like no homo and all this other pause or whatever it is that they use. But as you go up the ladder, as you hit different peaks, you're going to see where you have an opportunity to ask the questions that you wish to ask. Either A, you're going to ask them, and your increase is going to become stagnant, or you're going to continue to keep going up the ladder and just overlook everything that's going on, thinking that once you get to the top, you can now ask all of the questions that you had while you were going up to get an understanding of why did you guys do business in the manner what you did. And guess what's going to happen? When you get to that point and saying you're going to blow the whistle, that's when they're going to come back and say, guess what? Your passion has gotten a little bit beside itself. Now it's time for us to bring you down. And this is what we're watching right now. I hate to say it. It's sad. But honestly, truly, we have to believe at some point in time that we're going to need to find a means to get to where we're trying to go and be willing to ask the questions along the way or put it into the bull crap, making sure that we're not caught up in some things that we shouldn't. I hope the young man, I wish him the best. I hope no one was really hurt in anything like this. I pray that no one was hurt in anything like this. And if by chance this does come out that something was wrong, man, this is a bad day. This is a bad day. The joke's going to get even worse. But like I said, I'm going to hold my judgment until all of the chips hit the table and we find out what's going on. But guys, Coach going to go ahead and get up on out this thing. This is another episode of Blow the Whistle with your host, Coach Walker. But until next time, be the one and lead.